All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Breaking Bread Takeover podcast with Good Stock Consulting. My name is Natalie Ocean.
Jocelyn Rogers.
And I'm Tanya Soraya.
Dr.
All
Soraya.
right, let's get it right. All right, let's get right into it.
Okay, it's me. Okay, so it's February. Welcome to February, and it is Black History Month. Snap, snap, snap. So, do you guys do anything for Black History Month? And there are some problems with this being Black History Month, being it's the shortest month. We'll get to that in a sec. But first, do you guys do anything for this month?
No, not anything special. Just love on my Blackness because I'm Black every other month of the year. But
Okay, pretty accurate.
But on nothing, I don't do anything like special or celebrate anything particular. Just,
Be Black.
Yeah. Continue to be Black and proud and Black.
Yep. Be Black and stay Black. I also don't do anything particularly special. I did want to share with you guys this video that went viral on Martin Luther King Day.
That is thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, and this was posted on the Black Lives Matter page. It had a very lengthy and in-depth caption that almost like in more or less words justified the video. I mean, damn, it wasn't even cute.
What did the caption say? Is there like a snippet of it that you can read? Because I feel like it was trying to do something that the video was not.
And it's crazy because now that I'm trying to look for it, I can't see it. Because when originally I saw the video, I couldn't even see the caption, and I still can't see it.
Mm.
And now it says comments on the post have been limited, which they probably should have been.
Ooh, yeah, that means something went down.
And but honestly, when I originally saw it, all the responses were like, no, this ain't it. This ain't don't this is not the answer. I mean, and it almost like summarizes it to like, is that all we are? Like, is that all that y'all see Black women as? Not even Black people, Black women, like, you know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of people that just walk around and do random stuff like this. Okay, so this is a synopsis of what it says. Twerk on Washington is a declaration of freedom and healing, advocating for the decolonization of over-sexualizing Black women's bodies to reclaim an ancient sacred dances of liberation and wellness. And then it's long. It's a long caption, y'all. It's long.
Yeah, I see what they're saying, which I agree with what they're saying, but like the imagery, the day they posted it, it was just, I didn't get it. She could have posted as the girl who was in the video. I'm not sure who she is, but if she would have just posted that on her own and like not have it like, I think where they missed the mark was trying to make it meaningful, I guess. And again, like I'm definitely a proponent of like do what you want, advocate for your body. I do agree that Black women have always been hypersexualized and that there should be a stance against it, et cetera, et cetera. But I just don't know how I felt about the video being used to support that message, and then the date, like on MLK Day, like what is that? I just didn't get it. It didn't hit for me the way that I think they wanted it to, and I think a lot of people could or have felt the same way about it. But it was like, okay, do your thing, girls, twerk, but
I thought it was
you leave the caption. You didn't need the caption.
I thought it was a joke. I honestly thought it was a joke until I saw who posted it and what they said. Like the caption was deep. Like it literally said something about trauma is something, shake it off. Trauma is something about your body, shake it off. I don't know. What you think, Tanya? Outside looking in.
I guess it's similar to what Nat said. Like, I think separately they make sense to me. Like, I think it's like, okay, cool. This is the video of somebody dancing. Like, that's awesome. Like, do your thing. And then the message, I guess I was like, oh, I don't know if I totally see how the video is saying that. But then I'm also like, you know what? Like, with all due respect, not my place. I'm just gonna let you do your thing. And then hopefully I'll understand one day, or hopefully I'll learn. So circling back, this is not how you guys celebrate Black History Month. And
I don't.
it seems like an open question. I mean, you know, there's a lot of problems, and I'm curious what you guys think about the fact that this month is ordained as Black History Month, and like why it's sanctioned to 1 month in the first place, and then sanctioned to the shortest month when the history of this nation was built on the backs of slaves. And so, does it bring up any negative feelings or thoughts about it just being this short month?
So I'm gonna go first, because whatever Natalie gonna say, I'm gonna agree with it. So, I don't really have a whole lot to say, because like I mentioned in the first episode, like I grew up very, and people think that I joke or I kid when I say this, but like I'm being very like honest. I grew up very not Black. Like I'm Black, right? But I don't know a whole. I've learned over the last 8-9 years about my culture, my heritage. But I'm learning every day. But I saw somebody make a post on Facebook a couple of days ago on MLK Day, and they was like, okay, yeah, we celebrate MLK Day today, but then also 4 months from now we have Confederate Memorial Day. So like, don't forget about that. And the reason why I said Natalie go first, because I know she's probably gonna say this because she said it earlier, is that like this is a time when everybody wants to act like, oh, Blackness is cool, or let's celebrate, let's do some stuff, let's host a movie night, or let's send let's do some type of event or something to celebrate these things. But they don't do that any other month of the year. But for our people, I think it's a time for us to embrace and for us to celebrate. I think even similar to the inauguration, how everybody came out with pearls and Chuck Taylors on because they just wanted to celebrate and they wanted to embrace. I feel like it's that type of time. And year by year, I feel like it gets better as people become more culturally aware. And hopefully we get to the point where it's not just Black people celebrating Black History Month, but everybody's celebrating Black History Month, like we do with Cinco de Mayo or St. Patrick's Day. Like it's a cultural affair. So.
Yeah, so I was Googling while you were talking, because I've always been curious about why February was chosen, but I don't think I ever really knew why. So, Carter G. Woodson and other prominent African American figures of that time, or other Black figures of that time, were thinking of ideas of ways to celebrate African American achievements, and it was started in 1915. So him and this group of other Black individuals chose the second week in February. Not sure why they chose that specific week. Well, actually, no, I think I do see it. So they chose the second week in February 1926 to celebrate Negro History Week. And that week was symbolic in that it was the same week of the birthdays of former President Abraham Lincoln. Got my thoughts about that. And Frederick Douglass, an escaped slave and prominent abolitionist movement activist. And then in the late 1960s, the week evolved into an entire month, thanks in large part to the civil rights movement. So I think the selection of February was intentional by Black people, and the decision about expanding it to an entire month, I'm not exactly sure who was involved in that decision of making it from a week to a month, but glad we got that extension, so to speak. But I do think that not even just the fact that it's the shortest month of the year, because I think there may have been some intention around that from what I just read, but just thinking of how people use that time to, like, that's the Black month, like that's the time that we can acknowledge that Black people did great things. And it's like, we do great things every single day, 24/7, 365 days throughout the year. And it's just interesting to me, and I know we talked about this, I think when we were talking about COVID in one of our previous episodes, maybe, about how a lot of these organizations have kind of been performing in a way, or using these moments in history, or using these moments of celebration to kind of use it to kind of market themselves or use it as a marketing opportunity or a way to show that they're with it or they're part of this and they, they're here for it as well as like a collective, when we know it's just like their February, it's on their checklist of things to do and promote, every month of the year or whatever the case is. I also think that it's interesting to see how when you're in an organization and like seeing it from an internal perspective, how it's celebrated and how you are then kind of perceived or celebrated in the space or in the organization that you're with too in that month of the year, versus in other times throughout the year. So why isn't there Black people being celebrated throughout the year? Because there's a lot of things that Black people have done in different industries. We've seen laundry lists of the different inventions that Black people have had a hand in or that they have single-handedly invented and patented themselves. And there's just so much that we do that a month, of course, is not enough and it's never going to be enough. But I think I'm glad to see that there was some intention behind the selection of the month of February, despite the fact, again, that being the shortest month of the year. But I also think that it does not need to be limited to a month and that there should always be an opportunity to celebrate Black achievements in any organization, in any setting, without it having to be like a marketing strategy. And, people are always going to market, they're always going to find opportunities to capitalize off of things. But I think if we can see beyond that, I think that'll be important moving forward. But yeah, it's all just a game and a show, and people just want to show up for the moment. So
previously, several months ago, I've seen, when the whole rally was going on about Donald Trump and so about the election, and people were talking about Black History Month, but there's like not a White History Month. So do you think that, so I guess it's two-part, right? So do you think that in the absence of Black History Month, like removing it as a single month, that it would be spread across the year? Or do you feel like you would feel more equivalent if there was a White History Month? Or you see where my mind is going? Like,
But everything is white history. Hold up. Like, this is
yes, by
like
default,
that is the status quo.
That is the default.
But is it really though? So like, explain it to me.
The people who write history books are the people who have the power and who are alive. And those are the white people. They write it in a lens that shows what they have done has been justified.
But I'm talking about in terms of a celebration, like similarly to like a Cinco de Mayo or like a St. Patrick's Day and a Black History Month. And I'm not saying that per se, but what would be more ideal if it wasn't a Black History Month celebration or an acknowledgement? Like, what would be more ideal in that sense?
You mean like?
I don't think.
No, go ahead, Nat. No, go.
I was going to say, I don't think there needs to be a removal of the celebration. I think it's still necessary because our achievements are still grossly overlooked. I think, like to Tanya's point, by default, white history is celebrated amongst the country. And there is no white history without Black history. There is no American history without Black history and the other indigenous people of the country that have been here before us. So I don't think it needs to be a removal of the celebration in order to neutralize the, grounds for celebration, I guess. But I think there just needs to be a better way or a better strategy from a corporate perspective or from a company perspective of how they choose to celebrate or acknowledge Black achievement and only waiting until this month to do so. Like there's other things that can be done throughout the year, but a lot of people are like, oh, we'll plug it into the Black History Month speech or the Black History Month celebration or the kickoff thing for February. And then it's like, well, come March, it's like, who are you again? Where do you work? So yeah, I don't think there needs to be a White History Month. Definitely no. I don't think we need to remove Black History Month.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's more so an acknowledgement of the fact that there is no white American history without Black history because y'all are here because you brought us here. And the history of this country is just a mess. But
helping the oppressed and the victimized make progress is not like, it's not a battle of fairness or equity, because that was demolished from the get-go. So it's not like, just because the month doesn't feel enough, there's a reason to that. Like in my eyes, like because nothing will be enough because equity was demolished, right? Fairness, justice was demolished. So you can't expect it to be enough, but it's a step towards something, right? Towards some fairness. Like what I'm thinking is like, it's interesting that it's Black History Month. Like it's specifically in the history, which I also find so strange, you know, like why only this month for the history? And like, why isn't there Indigenous Peoples or Native American month? Like that is a major history that has been wiped out. So,
and why are there only these 5 people that always get brought up for Black History Month when, you know, anyway.
Yeah. It's well beyond what we can even count, you know what I'm saying? And we're still, I'm personally still learning. Y'all, so again, side note, Sean and I have been watching the Ronald Reagan documentary.
Oh, is it good?
It's good for me because I don't know this stuff. So while we watching it, I'm Googling and I'm like, oh my God, Fort Sumter, that's up the street. Y'all, it's okay, deep dive. A couple weeks ago, we had the good inauguration, and we want to talk about style and fashion amongst our wonderful people of color. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick, and we just gonna appreciate good old Michelle Obama, honey. Look at her. Y'all see it?
That color.
It's the monochrome, it's the oxblood color, it's the hair that's just
the gloves.
Come on, sis.
Everything.
Let's talk about it. And then I'm gonna find one with good old Kamala. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Nah, I'm gonna let you go first because I know you got something to say.
Yeah, I just think like Michelle just comes better and better. Ooh, I'm sorry, First Lady Michelle Obama, because we ain't friends like that just yet. But she brings it every time. We know that it's that post in office glow that she has. Like she's like, that's not my problem anymore. So y'all take care of that. But she just always came with the looks and just always just looked so poised, fashionable, on trend. It's just like, oh, like, yes, that is how you do it. Like she always comes with a great presence, always just looks done up to the nines, and just always has such a great, like presidential and just like captivating aura and energy about her. Like you just want to look and just drop your jaw and just be like, who is that? And Kamala, her outfit was bomb. Her hair was laid and slayed. Dr. Jill Biden's outfit, I just love the monochrome look so much, and they all killed it in the best of ways today or during our inauguration. But yes, I love to see it. Love to see Black women just dressed. You know, it's just, ooh, it's just so lovely. Not to say that Black women have to be dressed in this way to be respected. We'll get to that in a second. But they just looked really, really good. And I was living for every moment of it. It took me back. I could smell the flat iron hair from here. I could feel the pain of laying down with the rollers in her hair, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Did y'all see the
trauma patient with those trauma memories?
Did y'all see the picture of Kamala?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Check out good sis.
Yes, it was a mask for me. Like she topped it off.
Yes.
It looks so good.
That color too. God, the colors are so good.
They came with it.
I also love that it's not red, white, and blue. Like,
yes.
You know?
Now Joe could have came a little harder, but you know, we'll talk about that. But yes, along with Natalie, I just want to appreciate my good sisters because they came to represent. They came and was like, this is our time. We're not half stepping. We coming with this smoke and with this heat. I also did smell a good flat iron because I know somebody had one hot and ready to get on the stage, and I love it. And it's been time, and I do want to ask y'all a question real quick. Have y'all ever heard of the saying glass ceiling, sticky floor? I didn't make that up.
I've never heard that.
I don't think I've heard glass ceilings, but not the sticky floor part.
So basically the glass ceilings is like what you imagine, like, you know, you can see the top, you want to aspire to be at the top, but you can't reach it. But that's like what a sticky floor is. So it's almost like you're stuck to the floor. You know what I'm saying? You might be the minority, or you might be in poverty. You might not have the education, so you can't reach those aspirations. So like they're almost like simultaneous. Like you can't get to the glass ceiling because you're stuck on the sticky floor. And I feel like that's what today represented for me. or the inauguration representative for me, was, you know, them just kind of breaking out of that shell and doing these amazing things. So with the sleigh.
Yeah, I agree. Like I mean, not that I ever aspired to be president or vice president, nothing like that, but it's just like we did it with Barack, you know, we got a black guy in office and now we have Kamala Harris as vice president. It's just so great to see. And I know everyone always talks about representation is such a big deal, and it is, and very important. I remember watching or seeing the clips of people and their daughters of all races, all backgrounds, watching Kamala Harris. What was it? When she wore the all white suit. Oof, I was just like, yes, Lord. Like she just looked so good, and it was just so nice to see little girls, seeing little like pictures of her when she was younger with her hair in little puffs or little ponytails, and they had similar hairstyles. It's just so important to see that there's someone doing something that you may not even think is even reachable, and they're doing it, and they're doing such a great job at it. Um, so yeah, I definitely loved that visual aspect of it, of that representation piece, because I think it is important. A lot of people think representation is overplayed. I don't think it ever will be, because there's never enough of it. Not only for Black people, but just other minorities in general. There's never enough representation out there because everything is, like we said, by default white or white appreciated. So yes, I loved every second of them killing it and strutting their stuff and looking so poised and professional and just about their business while doing it.
And I that was what I got from today. But I am very curious about what you guys feel is like your style or fashion, especially with work and professional environments and hair, and like dealing with hair industry, but also dealing with what you might see as hard or difficult or easy, or what you want to wear your hair like versus what's maybe like you think appropriate, even though everything should be appropriate. So thoughts?
Yeah. I'll start because that was something that somebody posted recently that reminded me of what my state of mind is with this topic. But someone made a post, Black woman was wearing braids for the first time to her hijab, and she was like, I'm so glad I got to muster up the strength and the courage to wear my hair in braids. And I was like, I'm so happy that she did so, but I'm so sad that it took all of that like emotional fight for you to feel like you had to like muster up strength and courage to wear braids to work. And for me, I've always been like, I'm gonna do my hair however I want to do it. It's gonna come out. If you're gonna see me how you're gonna see me, because this is what it is, regardless. And I've had some like people that I've kind of spoken to, or not necessarily in a mentor-mentee relationship, but like people that I've kind of spoken to help guide them in different professional capacities. And I would wear my hair in my fro. I would always have like my long nails done with bright colors, reds, blues, oranges, whatever. For me, the way that I presented myself at work was always appropriate, because nothing about my appearance was taking away from the output of the work or the quality of the work that I was delivering. And if it doesn't impact that, or doesn't have or take away from that, then I see no issue at all, no matter what you choose to do, what you choose to wear. I think there is definitely a level of professional attire. But of course, you need to consider that people's bodies are different. So when I wear a business dress that I bought from New York and Company, or those, whatever the Banana Republic, I think, like those dresses look different on some of my slimmer, more straight lined counterparts versus someone who's a little more curvier, like me or someone else that I may know. But it's always interesting to see how people define professional attire, but then it's like, oh, but you can't wear that because it looks like this on you. Well, my body is built like this, and the dresses are exactly the same, so I have nothing to do with that. And so for me, like I said, I've always been thankful that I never felt like I had to like draw up courage or strength to do anything that's just innately myself. I've always gone to work as myself, always done and presented myself as my truest self, again, in that professional capacity, because I do want to be respectful of the conservative environment that I'm in healthcare. But I just hate to see people that like, oh, I'm going to work, so I need to straighten my hair, or I'm doing this, so I have to take my braids out. Like, no, you do this for a reason. You do this style because you like it. You do this style because you need to protect your hair. Black women do protective styles to protect their hair from the elements. So you can't always just have your hair out. You can't always have your hair straightened. And you can choose to do so if that's what you like. But there's other options that you do for specific reasons as well, aside from just style and preference. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's okay that you don't understand it, but it's when you get questioned, or when you become the petting zoo, or when the conversation deviates from work to, oh my gosh, you changed your hair again, or you get confused for the other Black girl in the office because you chose to put your hair in a ponytail instead of having it out. So it's all these little nuances and again, all these little microaggressions that just build on each other that just are annoying because you changed your hair too. You had your hair down, now it's in a ponytail. I did the same thing. My hair just grows this way and now it's back. Your hair grows this way and now it's back. And it's just crazy the fascination around it. And again, I'm not above like teaching someone or explaining to them, but again, it can get frustrating because it's my hair. Like, I don't know what is the lesson here for you? But I think, like I said, I think the biggest thing is the way I'm presenting myself from a physical perspective, as far as my dress, my hair, my nails, my makeup. If it's not disrupting my work output, there's nothing you need to question me about. And if I'm not, breaking the HR rules, don't ask me nothing about what I got on or what I did with my hair or my nails, unless you're asking like, oh, where did you get it done or something like that. That's kind of more genuine. But if you're kind of interrogating me, questioning me, telling me it's not professional when you don't write the HR rules, I don't want to hear it. And I tell everybody that's coming up behind me, like, don't let that because like for me, like the way I dress affects my mood. So if I'm feeling confident, I'm gonna put on a bold red lip and I'm gonna have my bright blue nails. If I'm feeling like I don't want to talk to nobody, I'm gonna put my little chapstick on. My hair is gonna look a little frizzy, maybe it's gonna be put back, and I might wear like a regular old like pantsuit or something like that. But I think people um, kind of take lightly like how your presence makes you feel as an individual versus how the parameters that you're under as far as what you can and can't wear in a specific environment. I say wear what makes you happy, what makes you confident, what makes you feel productive, as long as you abide by whatever rules are in place at your particular organization and you're not flashing anybody, like you're not being inappropriate and showing skin, but wear what makes you feel good. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I was gonna say, I was like, should we just clap? So clap.
No, seriously. Like, that's why I say, like, let me talk first, because whatever Natalie said, I'm just gonna agree with it. Seriously. My turn.
Yeah, if you want to add anything or say the same thing, either are great.
I'm gonna say the same exact thing. No, I personally just think that I have learned to appreciate and embrace my hair, and it's intentional for me. It's like for Natalie, it may be a little bit more passive. It's just like, this is just how it is, and so on. So, but when I go into those meetings, like I have meetings with directors and so, and I am the only Black person, not only the only Black woman, I'm the only Black person. And that is in all of my meetings that I have all week, except for Goodstock and my other consulting firm, the only Black person. So when I come with my hair looking crazy, and sometimes you might not even get me on the camera because I look super crazy, or when I wear my hair up, in my turban or my wrap, it's intentional because I either want you to ask, or I want you to respect it, or I want you to appreciate it. But I don't want you to judge me, and I don't want you to feel like I can't do what I can do because of what I got on top of my head. You know what I'm saying? And I think I also mentioned this in the first session, is when I went into my interview with MUSC, I had a little itty bitty afro, y'all, was little. And I did that intentionally. Like, I did it intentionally. I could have got a blowout, I could have put a wig on, got some braids and so and so. But I also knew that I came to that interview with smoke. Like, I came with heat. And if they wouldn't have selected me, I probably would have gone a little bit further to understand why, because I knew that I was overly qualified or properly qualified for the position. And I haven't worn my hair much different for people to question, like, oh, that looks different. Oh, I haven't seen that before. But I still have to say that when my hair looks like this, it's intentional. Like, I want you to, like, you're gonna breathe this Black air, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
Tanya, have you ever felt like you had to like adjust or did you become like ever super aware of like how you were being perceived by others from your appearance or how you dressed or anything like that?
Yeah. I grew up in a very white, like similar to Jocelyn, I like grew up in a very white place in Florida, and my school was all white. And so I was always straightening my hair because it wasn't this straight when I was younger. It was kind of wavy and frizzy because it was so humid. So I would wake up and straighten my hair. And then I remember being like, damn, this sucks. Like, I need to sleep. And so that was when it stopped. And I would avoid the sun because, like, I'm a little pale right now, but I was always told, and this is also like the bias of Bollywood and India that's internalized colonialism from the British so much that they still see white skin as better. But my parents were always like, don't go out in the sun. Like, you don't want to get dark. Like, they'll say in Gujarati or Hindi. And I did that also because I was like, oh, maybe boys will like me if I look more like a white girl. And I had a lot of Indian clothes, like Indian tops and shirts and jewelry. And so I always like loved it, but I knew I couldn't wear it in white spaces. Like, I knew it was not okay. And I knew that from this is like a very young memory for me. So it's a little off topic, but like I was in first grade and you wear two big bangles, like when you're a kid, and like you're kind of always supposed to wear them. So my mom gave me two and they're like bright magenta. And I was playing with them in first grade and they got put in the timeout box and I was told that I could never wear them again. And my mom was pissed, but she was an immigrant. She was also scared. And for me, it was like, oh, okay, I can't be Indian here. So, but my hair is much more accepted. Like, there is there's no doubt, right? That like, I can do so many more things with my hair that you guys couldn't historically do based on like what people wanted. Or like, I'm curious a little bit about like how your moms felt like when they went to work, or if they did go in public spaces or, white centered spaces, if they felt there were different rules before.
You want to go? You want me to go? You want to go?
And not just moms. Sorry, I said moms, but I was saying anyone who's the older generation.
Yeah, go ahead, Jocelyn.
So I also realized that when Tanya started talking, that I was very biased to my hair because I feel like my dress hasn't changed at all. I feel like I just dress how I dress. And I'm like with everything else, I'm very simple. But my mom is very meek, maybe the word. So she's very like neutral. She's very by the book. She wears her hair flat. She wears like casual clothes. Like, she doesn't really do like anything very different. She doesn't do like a lot of jewelry, no tattoos, no anything. And she tried to incorporate me into that lifestyle when I was growing up. But I was like, dude, like, that's like, people got tattoos when they're like 17. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Belly button piercings and stuff. And she was like, no, you can't. And then even when I started wearing my hair natural, she didn't think I would last that long. She was like, you're not gonna be natural that long. I can't see it. And I've been natural for going on 9 years now. And then even like when I go to work sometimes in the morning, like when I go into the office and I wear my hair wrapped up, she's like, you're not going to the office like that. I'm like, I absolutely am. Because she's so used to like just having that very mellow front and center persona for people of color, because she's used to growing up so people that you don't want to give them an extra reason to say something or to judge you or to think less of you and so on. So that's just how she grew up. She'll be 60 this year, you know what I'm saying? So she was born in the 60s. So she's a little old school. I don't give a damn. That's us.
Yeah, I'll say for me, not necessarily just my mom, but like just other older generations, like Jocelyn was saying. But so for when I first got my first perm or my first relaxer, where you put chemicals in your hair to make it straight, I begged for it. Like, I begged and pleaded.
Natalie, hold up. What the hell were we thinking, girl? We didn't even know no better. We didn't even know.
I was like, I need my hair down. I need to be able to shake my hair to and fro. I need it to be silky smooth. They had just came out with these. Do you guys remember those stretchy headbands that were like zigzag kind of, and you would put it in, and so it had the multicolored butterflies on it. I was like, I need to have my hair permed so I can wear this headband. Okay, you feel me? So I begged and begged for it, and finally got her to put a perm in my hair, and I loved it. And like my hair was always healthy with the perm, so it was never an issue of, oh, my hair is damaged or it's breaking, so I have to go natural. It was a decision, a lazy decision actually, for why I chose to go natural, but or return to natural. But yeah, she's always been cool and flexible with hairstyles. My aunt, I think, has always been someone who I kind of look to, like, because she changes her hair drastically. She had locks, she dyed them red, she cut her hair all the way down, she was bald, she grew her hair out into a fro, she straightened, like she did all kinds of things and just did whatever she wanted. I think for me, like again, most of the other people in that same age bracket as her or others in my family, it's always, well, you have this, like, you can't be in this kind of job looking like that. And it's like, but I am. So now what? And I remember when I got promoted to the role or the title that I'm in now, it was like, all right, well, you got to dress the part. Like, you have to you got to do. I was like, no, I'm not going to do any of that because I got here like this, so I'm going to continue moving on like that. And of course, there's spaces where you need to like have an elevated presence, and of course, I'm not going to wear a t-shirt to like certain events or whatever, but I don't need to change who I am and who I innately or how I innately feel comfortable in myself and the way I present myself in spaces where it doesn't matter just because I have a title or just because I'm in a specific field or industry. Again, as long as it's not breaking a specific HR rule, if my nail's gonna pop off in a patient bed, I'm probably not gonna wear my press-ons, but I'm not treating patients. So that's never gonna happen for me. So I can be a little bit more flexible in those kind of wardrobe options. But yeah, I think it's kind of more like a generational thing versus like just a mom or a parent thing where it's, well, you have to, you have to be accepted, and they're not going to accept you if you look like this, or they're not going to consider you for these kind of forward progressive positions if you're not looking a certain way. And I'm like, look, if I got here looking the way I am, then I made it. Like, mama, I made it. But if me looking the way that I am is going to prevent me from getting to where I need to be, that's not where I need to be. That's not the space for me. It's not where I belong, and it doesn't matter for me. I never want to feel like I have to change myself to be in a job or to be in a specific income bracket. Yeah, it'd be nice. I could do that if I wanted to, but if that's what I have to do, then I'm not interested because I like to be comfortable and I like to. Again, like I said, my wardrobe and the way that I look makes me feel, it affects my mood. So if I'm dressed casually, I'm probably not in the best of moods, or maybe sometimes I am. When I'm in my sweatsuits, that's when I want to do my makeup, or when I'm dressed all the way up, maybe I do feel a little bit more elevated and I do want to take a little bit more time with my hair, but it doesn't have to be a prescribed, this is how you now have to dress for this particular reason. I don't have time for that. And if you're not paying for my wardrobe,
So a couple of things are funny. The perm, yes, it's super funny because I also had a perm when I was like 11, and like I don't know what I was thinking. But I've also met people who have never had a perm in their lives, and their hair is like super amazing. And I also agree that I think it's similarly, it's generational. Just what people expect and what is expected of them and what they expect of themselves. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
yeah, and I think going back to the perm thing really quickly, and I know Tanya's like, move on, but but I think it was more so like a lack of education of the options of how to do hair in its natural state too, that people, I guess, were fearful of or were in the dark about, because there's a lot of things you can do to tame your hair, or a lot of products you can try to make it more manageable in the sense, or other things you can do, like you can straighten your hair and it can look like a relaxer if you just apply heat and put heat protectors versus using chemicals to like to permanently alter the character and the structure of your actual hair strands. So I think it was just the lack of knowledge at that time and information about what to do or the options of flexibility and variation, because hair is very, there's a lot of options, a lot of things you can do with it. We can make it look different from day to day. I change my hair a lot, and I love that. To be able to do that. And a lot of people can change their hair all the time. You can put curls in it, you can put it up, you can put it down, pin it to the side, pin it to the back, braids, twists, whatever. And I think that we, as particularly for Black people, because that's the experience that I have, is it was more so just a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding what the options are. But yes, you can look this way, but you don't have to do it in this way, because that was a very drastic solution to jump to. But there are people who do have relaxers and perms, and their hair is super healthy. It may not be healthy in the sense that because they have chemicals applied to their hair, but it's growing long down their back. It's thick, it's vibrant, it's lush, it's luscious, it's shiny, all that other stuff. So there's definitely gives and takes for both sides. There's not a better option either way. I think people do what you want to do with their hair. If it's healthy or not, that's your business. It's on your body. It's in your body. But I think that understanding the options made hair a little bit more flexible and made the options a little bit more widespread now that we're older and kind of at this point in our journeys.
Yeah, and for the record, if you guys are ever just talking and like I played with my hair while you guys are talking, I don't know if people can see that. Like I want you guys to keep talking because like this is good stuff. Good stuff for good stock. Okay, that's my joke. So I was gonna say that one, I'm sorry that I said parents. I meant to say like a different generation, and it makes you, feel so sorry that people had felt so policed in their appearance that they couldn't do the things they wanted to do. They didn't have access to products or care that would allow them to do the things they wanted to do or experiment in the ways they want to experiment, But regarding fashion, like I think it's important to like respect the way you look and like figure out what your look is because it says a lot about your identity and that can change. But like I completely agree that I'm not willing to be in a space that doesn't accept me as I am. Like, you can tell like I don't wear makeup a lot. Like I like to do it when I really want to dress up for something. I don't do a lot with my hair. I just wear the clothes that I like, and I wear a lot of rings because I like rings. So it's like I don't know. I guess what am I trying to say? I guess I'm just trying to say that like it's sometimes weird for me when people want to do a lot to change the way they look. Like it can be so foreign for me because I'm just like, oh, why would you do that? Like especially with like dating, I always thought that like, oh, but if I wear makeup, then they don't know what I really look like. So like I don't want to wear that much makeup. So Alex knows what I look like, FYI.
Go ahead, Natalie, because I know whatever you're going to say is going to be profound.
Yeah. No, it's not. I was going to say about makeup. I just find it interesting, especially when men comment on when or whether women should or should not wear makeup. Like, oh, you guys look fake. Like, you look crazy with the makeup. When we take it off, is oh, you like. So what is it? So, and if there's definitely things because when guys get haircuts, that's a big transformation. That is a big transformation, and there are some people that go from zero to like to hubby, like with the haircut. But I just think
I feel
like
so bad for this guy in your life right now.
I'm not even talking about anybody in particular, but I just feel like it's sad to see people have like such or people that aren't even in that space where that topic comes up. Unless you're a guy that likes to wear makeup, do whatever you want. But it's just interesting to see like the policing of those kinds of things, like and the assumption that it's for them. Like, yeah, sometimes I want to look cute for my date or whatever, but sometimes it's just for me. Something for me, wearing makeup is a mood booster. Like it makes me feel more confident. It makes me feel good. I don't like wearing it because I gotta wash it off and wipe it off, and if it's waterproof, that's a whole other mess. But I like to look a certain way sometimes, and sometimes I don't care, and that's okay too. Like I try to keep my skin up to date so that way I don't have to feel as self-conscious as I once did about always needing to wear makeup or having to do something with my face to make it look more presentable. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Nothing profound. Just do what you want.
I got one more picture, y'all. So y'all will learn to understand about me is that I love pictures, like everything. I love pictures. It's ridiculous.
Accurate. First time I met Jocelyn, pictures
nonstop. So going on to the conversation Natalie mentioned. So one, the question originally about appearance and about expectations, and then when Natalie was saying about, I think you said you had a friend that was wearing braids and she felt apprehensive about having to go to work with braids and so on and so forth. So I wanted to show this picture of a woman basketball player from the University of South Carolina who got a statue put up at Carolina, and this is how she looked. This is how she looked. Y'all see it?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her statue.
Mm-hmm.
And black girl, braids.
Yep.
Like living her best life.
Right.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
Right.
Come as you are and do what you do. And what they gonna say about that girl? Don't wear that. Don't do that. Don't so and so. And literally
Right.
the quote that she mentioned that has been widespread, and I'm not going to try and repeat it because I'm probably going to do it wrong. So no, I got it. She said the same campus that my grandmother couldn't walk on is the same campus that houses a statue of her granddaughter at the University of South Carolina. And here she is, Black and beautiful, with her braids, living her best life. And she plays professional basketball, WNBA. So,
Mm. Like at the end of the day, she can dunk on you. So
look,
telling her to
okay,
take her
and
braids out.
that's insane.
I was thinking when you were talking about fashion that all of the women I know who immigrated here were always judged for wearing Indian clothes around town. And when I wear it, like it's shifted the culture. Now it's cool to be Indian and it's like exotic. Like it wasn't like that when I was growing up, but it was for like my cousin's generation. And so now they're like, oh, your clothes are so beautiful. Oh my God, I would love to wear a sari one day. And I'm always like, okay, cool. Cause like you didn't say that before. And like, don't take the bindi because that's our culture. So stop wearing them in your music videos, please. Okay, thanks, bye.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of cultural things that we were teased for. Because I remember when I was younger, being Haitian was not cool. There was all these jokes being made, all this fun, and even for like Africans, African culture is really big now, especially in the music industry, in the music scene. So there's a lot of like more cultural appreciation these days, which I'm thankful for. Like finally, hello, we've been here. But it's just crazy to see how different it is versus when we were younger. Like I'm not telling anybody where I'm from. Like luckily, my name on paper seems very like, you just have a weird name. Nothing crazy about that. But it's just interesting to see how that shift happened. Like those same people who were literally teasing you in like middle school, elementary school are the same ones playing the music of your people or trying to dress the way your people dress, etc. But hey, at least, it happened. The learning happened at some point. But all right. So now we're going to get into our shout outs of the session. And I'm going to let Jocelyn kick us off with the first one.
All right, y'all. So we've been talking a lot about hair etiquette and whatever the case may be. So I just personally want to shout out that I have been using these pattern products for about a month now. I got them right before Christmas and they are amazing. I got the deluxe bundle. It's about $120, $130 for the whole package, and you get everything. You get the conditioner and the oil and the shampoo and the brush and the towel. You get everything. And this is it. So yeah, check out Pattern Products. That's my shout out.
Cool, cool. So my shout out, I have two shout outs because I wanted to be greedy today. But my first, actually, they're both kind of food related because I love food. My first is for my boy KJ Kearney in the North Charleston, South Carolina area. He has started and like blew up through this pandemic an initiative called Black Food Fridays. He always spits Black food facts. And again, we and him have talked about like conversations about making food or linking the connection between food and politics. And I love all of his Black food facts. If you have not tuned in, the Instagram page is at Black Food Fridays. He has a bunch of followers on TikTok as well. So go over there and check him out. But his content will have you drooling and distracted from work all day. But definitely check him out. Support. He has merch. He's always doing some really great interviews in the Charleston area. So definitely check him out. And then my second shout out goes to a company called Village. And I found out about them because of a gift that my company had sent to our team members, including myself. And they're curated boxes of like experiences, and they're all featuring Black owned businesses. So like we got gifted all three of the companies like curated boxes. So there's one, and they're all focused on like company like language or like language that you would use at work, like KPIs and like how you would describe your work, like growth and etc. So the growth box is a green box and it has plants in it. So that's the growth connection. So there's plants, there's like a candle, there was like tea and like a snack, like a bag of cookies or chips or something. There's another box, which is my favorite, that had 2 full-size bottles of wine. So that's your wine experience. And it had the wine, it had another candle, it had some chips, it had like a body, like a self-care body, like butter. And then the other box had like some other stuff like tea, just a bunch of really, really good stuff. But their company is called Village, VILEDGE. On Instagram, they're VILEDGEHQ. Really, really dope. The founder is a Black woman. Love, love, love everything about the company. Check out their boxes. Really great gift options for those you love or those at work.
Nat, you Instagrammed about that, right?
I did, because I was just like, I knew we were getting something for like a gift for work, but I was like, wow, this is a lot, and like the boxes were amazing. Like I still have them sitting here because there's a lot that I still need to go through. Of course, I attacked the wine and the snacks first, but once I run out of my candles currently, I will definitely be going through those. Really good.
Cool, very cool. Okay, so my shout out is to Fresh Future Farms. It is a Black-owned business, Black-owned farm in North Charleston by Jermaine Jenkins. It is trying to create access to fresh food and fresh vegetables and fruits in the North Charleston area, which is designated as a food desert in Charleston. And I am really into farming and climate change and, you know, composting and all of that. And so I want to volunteer at this farm. It's been something that's been on my to-do list for a long time, but you can go on Saturdays to volunteer, or you can just donate, or you can buy from their store as well. And they also have merch. They have a calendar, which is like really adorable, and it's made by the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. So all the funds go there, and it feels good to give money and time and resources to Black farmers who essentially know this land better than anyone and should be the ones who own it. So that's my spiel.
Super, super dope.
Love it. Well, thank y'all for tuning in yet again to the Breaking Bread Takeover podcast. We'll be back in a few weeks, so stay tuned, and we'll see y'all soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.